Take a deep breath for me. Hello, I'm Kwan Siu. Chapter 7. Is it hot in here or is it me? 15 May 2022, Sunday. WhatsApp. I said, my son just tested positive for COVID. Dr. Devo said, he must do a PCR. Self-testing is not so great. You should go for PCR as well. Your whole family too. Go to the hospital for proper assessment. Unfortunately, at this phase of the pandemic, all hospitals stopped providing PCR testing on Sundays, only RTK tests for admission. That is terrible. What kind of settlement do you live in? How can there be no facility to do PCR on a Sunday? Dr. Dewo was not happy with this development. I will get it done first thing tomorrow, I promised. My condition has not been great since I was discharged from the hospital last month. For the first 2 weeks, I continued to experience pain where the stent was, which was my entire right abdomen, to my pelvis. Dr. Dewo's first concern was to make sure the stent did not get dislodged. A rare situation, but a possibility. I went back to see him a week after being discharged, and with an X-ray, we managed to confirm the stent was still at its rightful place, which was a relief. I shuddered at the thought of going through another stenting procedure and the entire gruesome parcel that went with it. On top of abdominal pain, I was having temperature spikes randomly throughout the day, every day. So while there, we also tested for UTI. As suspected, I had an infection and I needed a different antibiotic than the one prescribed to me. For 3 weeks, my temperature did not settle despite the courses of antibiotics, and that started to alarm Dr. Devo. While I was still naively managing myself like one with just a headache, gallivanting around like a wild child, there was little wonder why I was in so much pain and discomfort. I had not learned from Bailey's experience nor listened to her advice. 16 May 2022, Monday. WhatsApp. Dr. Devo said, temperature? I said, 36.9 Celsius. Dr. Devo said, good, get PCR now. I did not feel like a PCR was necessary because, apart from the random temperature spikes, I did not experience any other symptoms associated with COVID-19. However, to appease Dr. Devo, I went for one. He was very far away, checking in on me several times a day, every day, since the day I was discharged from the hospital, heedless of his punishing schedule. A quick step up the nostril was the least I could do to ease his worries. WhatsApp. I said, negative. Dr. Devo said, great. I said, when it is convenient for you, can we discuss when I need to be admitted for stent removal? Dr. Devo said, I am waiting for your temperature to settle. We cannot do that when you are having a fever. It will be near suicidal. 17th May 2022, Tuesday. WhatsApp. I said, 38.1 Celsius. Dr. Devo said, please recheck the COVID self-test. You are in no shape for a new infection. I had a bad feeling about this. Although I did not feel on top of the world since I was discharged from the hospital, I did not feel as horrid as I did today. My temperature did not go down even after paracetamol, and towards the evening, I could feel the onset of throat discomfort. As the thin red line on the self-test started to show itself, a sense of dread fell all over me. At this point, I was more frustrated with the constraints of confinement than the threat to my well-being. WhatsApp. I said, positive. Dr. Dewa said, as much as I suspected, please monitor O2 closely and keep me updated. After sorting out isolation arrangements in the house, since there were 2 infected inmates now, I got settled in my daughter's room with stacks upon stacks of books and my laptop. At least this was home and not a hospital. Shortly after his text, Dr. Devo called. I just spoke to the respiratory specialist. Please drink plenty of water and check your oxygen level regularly. Report to me if you experience shortness of breath. We will need to get you here. You are scaring me. Should I expect things to get really serious? I had all my shots. I was getting nervous now. His panic was very contagious. You are having an infection on top of another infection. I have reason to be worried, and so should you. Okay, he had a point. I will continue to update you on my temperature and oxygen level. Yes, sir. Please continue antibiotic. It will help with your sore throat. Yes, sir. Good night. Good night. 18th May 2022, Wednesday. While my son was experiencing minimal symptoms, things took a turn for the worse for me. My fever came back at 5 a.m. this morning, and my abdominal pain was amplified. After I updated Dr. Devo on this new development, he called. Good morning. I struggled to talk. Oh my goodness, you sound like Rod Stewart, teased Dr. Devo unsympathetically. What happened to my compassionate doctor? He's missing at the moment. Any shortness of breath? Not that I know of, but my pulse rate is high. Are you in pain? Yes, I have taken paracetamol. Temperature reduced, but not the pain. I also had a stronger painkiller with me. Since overconsumption could lead to kidney failure, I had an aversion to it. You can take it for a couple of days. You should be fine. How is Bailey? It was a month since Bailey had her stent inserted, and it was now time for it to be removed. I was so envious of her. She didn't need to bear the discomfort of the stent anymore. Stent removal is a quick procedure which can be done without staying overnight at the hospital. Vanna told me it was uncomplicated, and she even had it done without sedation, just local anesthetic. So, when Bailey's procedure was done, she was impatient to leave the hospital. I have discharged her, but please tell her not to fly home yet. Be in the city for a few more days, just in case. I believe that was Bailey's plan, to hang around in the city and visit with her daughter for a few days before she headed for home, where life could get back to normal again. This could be me, if my first standing attempt was successful and I was not infected with COVID-19. With how I was feeling right now, it was not difficult to ask, why me? Even though we cannot have all we want, we ought to be thankful we don't get what we deserve, quoted Warren Wisby. My temperature did not come down. I felt rotten throughout the day, almost like close to death. Although I had my laptop with me, I couldn't get any work done. I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. I felt like someone was trying to drill a hole into my kidney. I could suddenly have chills and then perspiring excessively a quarter of an hour later. I kept rereading the same page of the book, not being able to focus. When I closed my eyes, my eyelids were burning my eyeballs. My head felt like it could explode any time. It was like a relentless inferno engulfing my whole being. Two forces in my head, calm and panic, battled violently for dominance. I could not help but imagine how it was for those who had a more serious COVID-19 infection than me. If this was only stage 2 severity, it was not difficult to understand why a virus, the tiniest life form in existence, in its chaotic ferocity, could wipe off a fraction of the population. Dr. Devo called to check on me a few more times. By evening, he called once more. I spoke to the respiratory specialist again about the change in your condition. Do you want to come in? Is it necessary? At this point, I could not decide on anything. I knew that if my COVID-19 severity did not enter stage 3, with the onset of pneumonia, my health insurance would not pay for my admission, and the bill would certainly balloon into an exorbitant amount of money, which I could not possibly afford. On the other hand, I was concerned that my condition was becoming critical. You're not getting any better. It is too early to tell. If you are here, I can observe you and have someone treat you. By the time I reached the hospital, it would be close to midnight. Let's see how things progress overnight, and we make a decision tomorrow. I promise I will not be stubborn. It required a tremendous amount of effort for me to just finish that one sentence. Although I did not experience apparent shortness of breath, I was breathing with considerable effort. I was on the brink of deciding to go to the hospital. However, after taking my medication, lethargy claimed me and I fell into deep slumber. 19th May 2022, Thursday. WhatsApp. I said 7 a.m., 36.8 Celsius, O2 98%, 9 a.m., 37.4 Celsius, O2 99%. Last PCM 11 p.m. yesterday. Dr. Devo said, seems better. Was about to call you since you usually text earlier. I did not text him at 7 a.m. today because after the stress that I caused him late into the night before, I thought I would give him a chill morning. It didn't cross my mind that my silence would fret him more. My temperature was not as aggressive as yesterday. I could go longer without the paracetamol, although I couldn't yet eliminate it. My sore throat was horrid. It was almost like there was a big hole in my gullet. Ever since the appearance of the thin red lines, Yoda had thrown an armory of hopeful remedies. Supplements, potions, tonics, lozenges, everything that he could find, at me. "What's up?" I said. "Wano said you should get me an alcohol-based mouth rinse." Yoda said, "Alcohol? Where do I find that?" I said, "The pharmacy." By evening, he placed a bottle of aperitif outside my room. "What's up?" I said. "Explain," Yoda said. "This thing is 60% alcohol. I think it will be splendid." I was speechless. He gave me 中国白酒, Chinese white wine, left by a friend at our house several years ago. I did not know what he wanted me to achieve with this, and I was too much in pain to reason with him. After all, I was just going to gargle with it, not drink it. "What's up?" I said. "Why can't you just go to the pharmacy like a normal person?" Yoda said, "I don't think they have it." I said, "Why wouldn't a pharmacy have mouth rinse?" Yoda said, "Mouth rinse? I thought you said alcohol." I said, "Alcohol-based mouth rinse." Yoda said, "I was thinking ethanol from the hardware store." In my dazed existence, I had forgotten that my husband was a troubleshooting engineer who had a habit of skimming texts and only capturing keywords to solve problems quickly. If the hardware store was still open, I was pretty sure I would get a bottle of ethanol. "What's up?" Dr. Dewar said, "What is your temperature now?" I said, 36.9 Celsius, O2 99%, last PECM 11 a.m. Dr. Dewar said, "Looks good." I said, "My husband is throwing a lot of drugs at me." Dr. Dewar said, "That is because he doesn't want a Rod Stewart wife." I said, "Nope, he needs me well pronto. He's gone batshit crazy managing everything." Dr. Dewar said, "Good time to learn." He had no sympathy for healthy husbands. 20th May 2022, Friday. "What's up?" I said, 5 a.m., 36.7 Celsius, O2 99%, last PCM 11 a.m. yesterday. Dr. Dewar said, "Great, you are slowly recovering." Yes, I was better today despite my bad man voice. The fever was gone, which was a relief. By around 9 a.m., my sore throat was also gone. It happened instantaneously, like someone turned off the sore throat switch. I didn't know how much longer I needed to isolate myself, possibly until I tested negative. I spent the day reading and catching up on news. 21st May 2022, Saturday. "What's up?" I said, 36.7 Celsius, O2 95%, no PCM. Dr. Dewar said, "You are recovering." I said, "Still the occasional cough." Dr. Dewar said, "Yes, it will be a long-winded cough, plus a slight loss of memory. Roll on floor laugh." I said, "Serious?" Dr. Dewar said, "You will probably forget what surgery you had." Looked like our dear Dr. Dewar was in the mood to jazz on an early Saturday morning, possibly because his most vexatious patient was finally giving him less stress. I felt great today, like new. I could feel that the virus had left me, or I killed it. I was able to focus on doing some work on my laptop. I was also very happy to hear from Dr. Dewar that Bailey was getting better. After her stent removal, when she arrived home after a few days in the city, her fever came back, and she was very ill and in tremendous pain. For almost a week, she did not get better even after completing the course of antibiotics prescribed to her. When she finally asked me to reach out to Dr. Dewar for advice, she was already near delirium. Without much hesitation, Dr. Dewar insisted that she needed immediate medical attention and should get herself admitted to a hospital near her. It was in the nick of time too, because over there, they discovered she was infected with an aggressive strain of bacteria, not common but lethal, and required very strong antibiotics to treat. She was confined at the hospital for a week, She admitted to me that she learned her lesson and repeatedly reminded me not to rush treatment and not to compromise rest. It's good to learn from your mistakes. It's better to learn from other people's mistakes, quoted Warren Buffett. 22nd May 2022, Sunday. WhatsApp. Dr. Dewa said, morning temperature. I said 37.3 Celsius, O2 98%, no PCM. Slept through the night, no cough, no syrup. Dr. Dewa said, excellent. I was excited for a self-test today. All symptoms were gone. Surely I should get a negative now. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Still positive, although the line was very faint at this time. Disappointed, I continued to marinate myself in boredom and psych myself that this was self-care. With my newfound vitality, I felt it unnecessary to update Dr. Dewa on my vitals. However, like clockwork, by evening, he texted, WhatsApp. Dr. Dewa said, temperature, madam. I said, 37.1 Celsius. Okay, I still needed to hand in my homework. 23rd May 2022, Monday. WhatsApp. I said 36.8 Celsius. Dr. Dewa said, good, you are getting better. I said, less worry for you. Dr. Dewa said, part of my job until the day I retire. I said, you and I know that you're already doing above and beyond your job. Dr. Dewa said, the job will be complete once your stent is removed and you remain no fever. We continued discussing the plan and timeline for what would happen next. To avoid the nightmare of my first stenting attempt, engaging in the procedure amid an asymptomatic infection, I had agreed to an early admission for a short course of intravenous antibiotics. Recalling what happened to Bailey, I had also obediently agreed to remain at the hospital for another short course of antibiotics after my procedure to make sure I was completely clear of infection before I went home to a place where, he emphasized, a distance away from where he could treat me as if I lived in the hamlet with no hospitals. I could be demanding and give him a difficult time, but it seemed ungrateful after all that he had done for me and all the energy he devoted to my recovery. The very least I could do was to give him peace of mind. No dates were discussed since I failed to produce a negative self-test. Dr. Dewa was in no rush to remove my stent, strongly hoping the longer it stayed in my ureter, the better chance that it could straighten it. 24th May 2022, Tuesday. It was a negative. I was free. And then I went out to look at a job under the sun for 2 hours at a construction site. I had a fever in the evening. Lesson learned. Stay put and rest. Apart from this tiny hiccup, I remained fever-free for the next few days. However, Dr. Dewa had yet to put an end to my homework. He was still expecting me to report my temperature to him twice a day and at any time that he required. 29 May 2022, Sunday. WhatsApp. Dr. Dewa said, when is your appointment to see me? I said, it has passed. 25th May. Dr. Dewa said, hope your temperature settled and I can remove your stent. I said, I was debating with myself if I should send you this. 37.5 Celsius. Now. Dr. Dewa said, make a trip down next week to see me. Thank you very much for listening. If you would like to keep following the story, click here to listen to the next chapter. And if you're new, you can start from the beginning by listening to the full playlist here. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll know when the next chapter is released. Until then, take care, take a deep breath, and I'll see you in the next one.